Should we create a separate server for deployment server setup? In real time, yes, you have to create it. That's not the best practice because deployment server is going to manage multiple forwarders, right? So we need to create a separate server. But here in lab environment, we are not going to create it because just to save our server cost. So we are going to use a monitoring console as a deployment server. But in a production environment, real-time environment, you have to create a separate server and install Splunk Enterprise, name it as a deployment server. Now let's go to our AWS console and try checking if this monitoring console server is active. So I'm going to open that UI. Okay, it is up and running. Logging in. Password is wrong. Yeah. Yeah, so we have it available. So in the monitoring console, you don't need to do any additional setup for setting up deployment server. So it is by default enabled. So as soon as the deployment clients connect to this forwarder, it will be enabled. I'll go to settings and forwarder management. So for now, we won't be able to see anything. So you see forwarder manager, your deployment, no clients or apps connected to this deployment server. So for now, nothing connected. So it did not consider as a deployment server. Now let's go to universal forwarder and connect it. So in our server lab server setup, we have two heavy forwarders and one universal forwarder. So let's connect the universal forwarder first and then let's go to the heavy forwarder 1 and 2. So now I'm logging into universal forwarder backend. Let me open a command prompt. I will go to the downloads directory. I'm logging into that. Yeah, so I'm logged into the universal forwarder. So first thing, so I think we can follow this document. This document is there in just below this video. You can find out this document. Yeah. So we logged into universal forwarder EC2 instance. First we have to switch to Splunk user. Yes, and then let's navigate to the bin directory. Yes, and then yeah, we have to execute this Splunk set deploy poll command. So you can copy this and you can paste it and change the IP address. You just remove this curly braces and just till here and copy your deploy monitoring console IP, nothing but a deployment server IP. So let's go to the AWS console and go to this instances list, check the monitoring console, copy the private IP address. So private IP address is because like we all instances are in the same region and the public IP address tend to change whenever you restart. So it's good to use the private IP address. Yeah. So I'm just pasting this. Yeah, and once it is done, hit enter. It is asking username and password. Give the password you created. Login failed. Okay, so looks like the password is not correct. Okay, okay. Remember the password. Yeah, password. So it says configuration is updated. So which means the forwarder is now connected to deployment server. So we have to restart it for sure, like because sometimes like it takes a while to get connected. So for safer side, you restart the forwarder actually. Where in recent universal forwarders, recent version of universal forwarder, so you have to restart the Splunk forwarder as a root user. So we'll go to root user sudo su and then execute the restart command. So let the forwarder gets restarted. Yeah. Now let's go to the forwarder deployment server UI and see if we have any clients connected. I'm refreshing this page. So it takes a while, like sometimes 2 minutes or 3 minutes, even 5 minutes also, to get this clients displayed here. So I'm going to pause this video and I'll resume it. After 10 minutes, the universal forwarder is displaying in the forwarder management UI. You can see here, refresh. Yes, it is showing here. So this is the host name, which is the universal forwarder host name. So let's go back and verify. Okay, need to log in back. Log in. SL forwarder. Yes. Yes, you see 34,164. So that's for the universal forwarder host name. Yes, we can even change the universal forward host name and client name and instance name as if you want. But usually for universal forwarders from the client side, we won't change the host name because we need to know from which server this data is coming, right? Yeah. Now let's connect the heavy forwarders to the deployment servers. So we have heavy forwarder 1 and heavy forwarder 2, right? So let's connect one by one. So for that, we can also follow the documentation. So in the heavy forwarder 1, what we are going to do is we are going to use the deploy poll command, the same way how we used for the universal forwarder. And for heavy forwarder 2, we are going to use the deployment client.conf. So let's do it one by one. So first let's log into heavy forwarder 1, connect, open it in your command prompt. You open a new terminal, not the PowerShell, new command prompt. Go to the downloads folder. This is where my key. Press N. Yes. Yes, we have the HF1. We have it here. So let's follow the same commands. So sudo su splunk and then navigate to the bin directory and execute this command. So as we did previously, so this command in this command we have to replace this text with your private IP address of deployment server. In this case, it is monitoring console. Monitoring console server's private IP address. Sorry, the management console. Yeah. Copy the private IP address. Navigate back to the screen. Paste it and enter. It will ask admin username and password. Give your admin credentials. Yes, configuration is updated. Now let's restart the Splunk. Yes, it is getting restarted. It is restarted. Now let's navigate back to the forwarder management console in the deployment server. Let's refresh it. Yeah, here we should start seeing the heavy forwarder also here. So let's wait for a few more minutes as we waited for universal forwarder as well. Yes, after 5 minutes, the heavy forwarder one is reflecting here. You can see here. Now let's do the same thing for heavy forwarder 2, but using a deployment client.conf. To do that, let's log into the heavy forwarder 2 backend and then apply the configuration. So I'm just taking the SSH and going to the monitoring console, sorry, command prompt, and open a new command prompt window. Go to the downloads, SSH connection. Yes, yeah, we are inside HF2. So log in as a Splunk user. The steps you can find it here. Yeah, and navigate to cd opt splunk etc system local command, the local directory, and then open deployment client.conf. Make sure you are giving the right spelling, client.conf. Hit enter. Yes. So you click on I to insert mode, and you can copy this syntax and you can keep it inside this, and make sure you are changing this place and add the private IP address of the monitoring console server. Private IP address, and then it's pasted here. And save the file and restart. You can exit from Splunk user and become a sudo SU, and then you can restart this heavy forwarder. It is restarted. So now let's navigate to deployment server UI and let's refresh to see if we have new clients. Yeah, so let's wait for few more minutes to get the updated information here. Yes, it is reflecting here. Heavy forwarder 2 also displayed here. Now let's create two different server classes as we mentioned in this document. So we should create UF forwarders and HF forwarders server class. So for that, let's go to the server classes and create one. And first we can see UF underscore forwarders. This name you can keep it as like as you want. It depends on the company to company. I'm just keeping UF underscore forwarder so that I can categorize the forward universal forwarders to this one. So I'm going to add the clients, and this is the universal forwarder. You can copy the host name and you can paste it. Make sure you're not keeping any special characters. Click on preview. You see there is a match symbol, which means it is matched, and save. And then I can go back. Universal forward UF forwarder server class is created, and then create a new server class HF forwarders. Can save, and then I can add clients. I can copy HF1 comma HF2 preview. You see both are selected, and then you can click on save. Yeah, these two got added. So if I go back to the forwarder management, I can see both of the server classes got created, and I can go inside and I can check like which forwarders are added to that particular server class. I can also go to the clients tab and I can expand. I can see like what server class it belongs to. So you can see here these two belongs to heavy forwarders. This one belongs to universal forwarder.